looks like we're live on YouTube. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Doghouse with Husky, Dingo, and Updog.
Good. I think it transitioned. It's just not.
Yeah, it's a little bit
today.
behind.
Yeah, I forget that. Sorry.
Hey, what's
That's
up,
my bad.
fellow gamers? We got a good show.
We
lined
sure
up for you
do.
today.
It's gonna be a really good show.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of the. I think
Once
this is
again-
gonna be one of our best shows.
Once again, we're coming at you with the latest in gaming news, reviews, and discussion.
Lots of discussion today.
Great show
I
today.
believe.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
I
don't
was-
know.
I
I want
s-
to make it great.
I started my intro. I would have said all that. Dingo kind of interrupted me, and it threw off my groove.
He's interrupted us twice now.
I am.
I'm
30
sorry.
seconds
I
into the
actually want
show.
to talk in the radio show.
Well,
okay.
stop it. That's not your
Gosh.
job.
Wait for your turn.
We don't take turns.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, out here in the desert, we
have a
fight for.
We
our
have
right
been
to speak and-
meticulously crafting our sign on.
We
You
have a
wrecked it.
system.
I don't
Husky
have any part in the
starts-
sign on.
Husky starts. I go. I do my thing, and you say whatever stupid stuff you want to say.
Oh,
That's the system.
I didn't
That's
know
the
I was
food
in the
chain.
system.
It's the way it works. It's the way it's always worked.
I've been staring at the edge
Don't
of
try
the
to shake things
water.
up.
Oh,
Or else you'll get
Gosh.
burned. Alright. We got a lot of stuff. We got some good top of the hour, good dog meat today. That's the new. That is the new name for our middle section where we talk about the news.
You should
Stop
do the
that.
weather in that
Yeah.
accent.
Stop
Do the
that.
weather. Do the weather like that,
Stop
please. Do it. Please do the weather.
But before we
like
get into any of that, also, yeah, we also have a dog fight today, but it's going to be a trifecta. I'm calling it the smashing trifecta.
that, because it's about space.
Oh, I need to put that in the description. Anyways,
That's fine. We got that. We got that.
Before we get into any of that, we're going to go over the weather and verse of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that.
Let's go.
I'm going to refresh the weather page. All right, cool. Same thing. All right, so today on the day of October 18th,
2019. Year of
2019.
our Lord.
year Anno Domini. It is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty fair. It's partly cloudy. You know, it's okay for all our German savages. For all our savages across the pond, millions of German fans. It's 22 degrees Celsius.
Actually, like this is great weather to go camping.
yeah,
You know, it's just cool enough to like put on a jacket, but either way, it's comfortable.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
it's great.
It's good weather.
Cold enough to get your 5-year-old and throw him in the river and watch him freak out because it's so cold. It's great.
Wow.
Okay. I
I
don't
live,
think
in
he's
the,
ever having.
I live in the
learning.
middle of the United States. Humidity is 41%. 41% humidity. We got an easterly wind of 9 miles per hour. This afternoon, the high is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's projected that it's going to clear up. Sorry, having a little bit of tax. With a low of 49 degrees later tonight. Throughout the week, it's going to pretty much stay around the 70s for the highs and the 50s for the 50s and 60s for the low until around Tuesday, where it looks like it's going to be cooling down again. So a little bit warmer today, but overall it's still pretty cool. So I'm digging it. I dig it. So, but moving on from that, let's jump into the verse of the day. So today's verse is Psalm chapter 27, verse 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Bryant, Brother Dingo, thoughts?
Let me make my holy stance. I'm just kidding. Not really. All right. So this kind of just gives us a few characteristics that a wise Christian has in terms of just, especially like the beginning and the end. Both of them are the same thing. It says, wait for the Lord. Being patient and praying and discussing things with God through prayer is a huge thing that a lot of people don't do, including myself, that we should all do way more frequently. In terms of a lot of times, especially like in this point of life where I'm at, I'm having to do a lot of waiting in general. And so it's hard to be patient whenever I'm so excited for the next few steps in my life. And so waiting for God's timing is super important. And so we need to be strong in patience And another part of this is let your heart take courage. So instead of worrying about what might happen in the future, waiting for the Lord, and having courage because you know He has your future in His hand. So, yeah,
It's good.
thank
I
you.
like it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's yeah,
Sometimes it takes a little bit of patience. A little patience will go a long way. So
exactly, and that's a short way of saying exactly what I just said, basically.
that's why I'm here. But yeah, so that was the verse of the day. Once again, that was Psalm chapter 27, verse 14. Yeah,
Yeah,
courtesy of whatever Bible verse.
Bible
yeah,
Gateway.
Bible Gateway.
That's what we use.
So.
Oh, did you just?
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Luckily, the stream is still being sent, so.
Hey, I mean, as long as it's being sent, I guess it's okay technically.
I like keeping track of the time on that. So let me just go back to
Yeah.
radio.co. I haven't eaten, and I'm
For those who
tired.
don't know, he just accidentally clicked off of a window, but it's okay. It's all okay. I think we were still live that entire time too.
I'm kind of.
You need a bean burrito
I need a bean burrito. That sounds amazing. A good bean burrito right now.
from Taco Bell?
Yo, dude. No, I just want a microwave bean burrito, like one of those good ones.
Oh, I feel that. Okay, so
All
is
right,
that all?
sorry.
Well, actually, have we even gotten to the top of the hour yet? We need to get to the top of the
No,
hour.
we haven't got to the top of the hour yet. That's what we're gonna do right now. So who wants
Schwiggity.
to go first?
You know what? I'll go first since I'm talking too much.
Very well.
Continue.
All right, so
Continue to talk.
for my top of the hour today, it's a lot of Pokemon Sword and Shield news. So just a
Excellent.
few small things about Sword and Shield that have been kind of revealed lately. The obvious one is the new Gigantamax forms for Charizard, Meowth, Pikachu, Eevee, and Butterfree. Butterfree looks like Mothra. Anyway, so those are cool. They're kind of interesting. Pikachu's fat again, and I like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
the chunk.
That's
has
all I gotta
returned.
say is about that.
It's
That's
weird because like
so-
Charizard looks like Godzilla.
Yeah, Mothra's Butterfree.
Mothra's Butterfree. If you had 3 Meowths, 3 Gigantamax Meowths, that's basically King Ghidorah.
Yeah,
And then just classic Pikachu.
yeah.
And Eevee's there, I guess.
He's basically Eevee just has a big fur coat. And I don't like that. Anyway,
It's even more
I just
floofy.
don't like
I love it.
I don't like that
I love
design.
them all.
But anyway, so there's that. Another cool thing, and these are like small things that are happening in game. Whenever you reach your first wild area, you can encounter Pokemon that are like level 50 or 70. It's the Xenoblade syndrome, as some people are calling it, in terms of you can get into the first area of the game and things can literally just
You'll just get
destroy you
wrecked.
if you want.
I took a step outside and a Machamp ate my Squirtle.
Basically. So yeah, that's pretty interesting and neat. Another thing I wanted to talk about is how big these wild areas are. They're actually the size of 2 regions in Breath of the Wild,
Wow.
which is ginormous.
That's pretty
A
big.
lot bigger than I would have thought. It makes me wonder if there's not a lot of them. There may be maybe 4, I would say. That's my guess right now. We
feel
don't have
like-
actual confirmation on this. But my estimate is we'll probably have 4 wild areas because there's also the small areas between towns still.
Right.
So,
Right. That would make sense.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people were kind of about this Pokemon game just from what we saw in the original trailers, but I kind of hung back and said, like, they've probably got more stuff up their sleeve, and that definitely seems to be the case as
It
we draw
seems to be
closer to the
showing.
release date.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I will say this. As the game originally was being announced and talked about, I wasn't excited about it because I was like, oh boy, it's another generic Pokemon game. It's going to be great. And then
Yep.
they actually are showing that they are willing to change up the formula. And because of that, I'm actually considering getting this game,
Okay.
which I haven't considered really getting a Pokemon game in a long time. I've had friends that kind of were like, hey, you're getting this game because I need the version exclusives, but I've not actually wanted to get a Pokemon game for a long time. So I'm excited about this.
Well, that's nice. That's
Anyways.
cool. Yeah.
Logan, what is your Updog? What is your top of the hour news? Sorry.
Oh boy. Yeah. So, at a recent investor report, the president of Capcom gave a statement. He said that Capcom has kind of been relying on like the Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Street Fighter franchises, but he said like due to like a lot of interest from fans and creators alike, they are thinking about like in the next like going forward, they're going to look into reviving some of their more dormant franchises. So maybe like your Mega Mans, your I don't know, some other Capcom
I
stuff.
literally just thought about this. I comment about yours.
Yeah.
So Capcom made one of my favorite games for the GameCube called Gotcha Force, and if
Yeah.
they pulled that out of retirement, I would probably cry.
Who knows? You might get another Gotcha Force. But yeah.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
I guess this is kind of like a response to all the old Resident Evil games that have been coming back on the Switch and other systems. Like there's a lot of
They've been selling very well.
yeah, there's a lot more interest in some of Capcom's stuff. So yeah, maybe Monster Hunter will get a break from being the lifeline that is keeping Capcom afloat. Maybe I'll get to see another Mega Man ZX game. That'll be cool. But yeah, that's all I got for top of the hour.
Beautiful Joe is also a Capcom game, correct?
Yeah, we could see Beautiful Joe.
Maybe. I'm just looking at some games they do. Final Fight. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. They did the Ghost and Goblins games.
This kind of goes in. Your top of the hour kind of goes in with what
Oh
I
no,
have
our world,
almost a little bit.
Uh-oh,
Worlds
uh-oh.
collide.
worlds collide.
This fall.
Don't
at
cross
a
the
studio near
beams.
you.
Uh-oh.
Don't cross the beams.
Don't cross the beams. Don't cross. Don't.
So with Capcom supposedly set to revive older franchises.
They just said that. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did you ask when?
No, I said
Okay,
with.
yeah, sorry.
With them. It's interesting that the news. So there was the art designer behind Okami, one of the designers behind the art, which is Ikumi Nakamura. If you don't know who she is, she's the one that E3 that was like spooky.
That's like my favorite line from E3.
So she and Hideki Kamiya, who was he was the director behind the story, and he was the director and he headed the story for Okami.
Okay.
They are both they both appeared in a tweet that Ikumi made, and Ikumi said, "Okami is going to be back. We want to make Okami sequel, and fans are looking forward to it too. You guys want to see Kami as Okami again, right? Everyone, I want to work on it too." So that and Okami's of when you consider all the old franchises of Capcom, that's one of the ones that has hardly ever been touched.
That's so weird
HD
too.
and
Because,
that's
like, it's like the most probably. It could have been like really iconic. Like it is iconic, but that could have been their Zelda.
Oh
They
yeah.
pushed forward
Basically
that.
was a Zelda game, but like if they do bring it back, that's interesting. Like what direction would they take it? Like are they just gonna make another carbon copy Zelda, or are they gonna make a carbon copy Breath of the Wild?
I think
I'd be
the
okay with that,
smartest thing
actually.
for them to do if they brought it back is to make it a true sequel at first. I think before you shake
Well,
up the
they-
formula, you should try your best to maybe
They made
maybe
a
see what
sequel.
worked.
They made a sequel called Okami Den, but it was like about a puppy Okami. I didn't get to play it. It was only on the DS.
Oh,
It
that's
was,
weird.
It was It was like 3DS something. I don't know. It was strange. I don't know if he was he involved with it, but
Yeah.
But Hideki Kamiya, he's also the guy who made Platinum Games. He founded it.
Oh,
Cool.
okay, that's a
So-
good guy then, because Platinum Games makes a lot of good stuff.
So that's I'd be so down if Okami made a comeback. But
That'd be really
I would
cool.
like. I'd like any game that kind of goes back to the traditional Zelda format, because like Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild's good, but I mean, there's nothing really wrong with Ocarina or Twilight Princess, in my opinion.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's interesting. Where like you're saying Capcom set to revive those franchises, and
Yeah,
they're talking about
that's-
Okami. So that's big news. A little less big news. I just wanted to cover that. The Doom Eternal. There's the official pre-order packs have been announced. So if you're gonna pre-order, and along with the deluxe packs. So right now, so the Doom Eternal pre-order trailer came out, and it announced for the pre-order bonus, get a throwback shotgun skin, so it looks like it's from the original Doom, and you just have that.
It's all blocky and stuff.
Yeah,
That's actually pretty
Yes.
epic.
the Doom 64 digital download.
Like for free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes with that game.
You get the Doot Revenant skin.
What is that?
So you know how there's a battle mode where you can fight as
Yeah.
demons. So you get
Yeah.
a skin as when you're fighting against the Revenant, where you get like 2 like horns on your thing instead of cannons. Because there was that old meme where like they had the Revenant. It was like he had the horn. It was like Doot. I guess they're just like paying homage to that. So like you
Oh,
have
that's
2
cool.
you have 2 French horns on your shoulders, and you fired stuff out of that.
I'd actually really like to play. The
I was
Doom
like
64
French
for free.
horns. Oh, that's actually epic.
Yeah.
I
Did
kind of
it?
like that.
Yeah.
So it's the Doot Revenant skin. You get a bonus campaign master level. if you get the deluxe edition, apparently they're going to be rolling out more DLC as it goes. You get the deluxe edition, you get the year 1 pass for a campaign DLC, the Demonic Slayer skin, and classic weapons sounds pack. So, you know, it's kind of all the stuff in this is really cool, but they also kind of announced that they're going to be doing more DLC down the road. I hope it's going to be substantial DLC, not just cut content. But and I'm not saying that they would, but you have to be careful because I don't think they expected that one Doom to be as successful as it was.
Yeah.
But now that they know they can make money off of it, it's I'm worried that there's going to be a conflict of interest.
That's the thing. I'm
that's
excited.
what I'm worried about with Monster Hunter too, but that's another story.
I'm excited for this game, but I don't know if I'm going to pre-order it just because Bethesda is at the wheel, and I'm a little.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much they've had before they sat down in that driver's seat. You know what I'm saying? Fallout 76 NPC update that got delayed till next year. So.
Yeah, which is upsetting.
Oh my gosh! Hopefully, I think it's probably a separate team. They have the same company name, but I doubt it's the same team that's working on.
This will be
76.
This will probably be good, and if it's not, I can just get Doom 64 and play that.
That's always the option.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I got for top of the hour. I think we spent quite a bit on top of the hour, but it was okay. I think we did pretty well.
17 minutes.
That's all we got for top of the hour today.
Man.
Let us know what you think about it. There's a lot of exciting stuff. I'm super excited about Okami and the Capcom stuff and Sword and Shield. I'm just excited about everything we covered in top of the hour. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a brief music break. We're gonna give you an ad and then some music. The song we're gonna be playing is "Ready Steady Go" cover by Amelie. So be sure to stay tuned in for that. We'll be right back.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You are listening to The Doghouse with your host, Husky, Dingo, and Updog.
Hey, what's up, fellow gamers? You are listening to the Doghouse. That is fact. That's not fake news. That's true. I can confirm 100%. You can tell it's Doghouse because Dingo's being real stupid. That's a fact. We had a really great show for you today, but the quality is dropping very quickly. Along with my IQ, the longer I sit in this room.
On to the dog meat.
Yes.
No.
All right, so since I guess you're biting at the
I'm being
bit.
stupid today. It's
You-
great.
you-
I don't
you
know.
You wanna talk some more, right?
He's
let's
licking
do
his
it.
chops.
No,
He wants
okay.
some of
Go
that.
ahead and do
He wants
this.
some dog meat.
Want some
Why don't
dog
you
meat.
why don't you give us your dog meat for the day?
All right,
You gotta-
brothers and
you gotta-
sisters, here we go. So today I'm going to talk a little bit, not very long, about Little Town Hero, a game that when it was initially shown off and talked about, I was excited for purely because the way I thought of it and saw it is, hey, their Game Freak is taking a step back from Pokemon and making a different game, which they don't do very often. Or I don't even know if they've ever done that. But anyway, so here they are with their attempt of an RPG, and it's got a lot of mixed opinions on it. There's some people that absolutely hated it. Like, I know for a fact Game Explain has never had that low of a rating before. And so they literally made their lowest rating and applied it to this game. And then some people were like, oh, it's a nice little imaginative way to make an RPG. And so there's a lot of mixed opinion. I'm going to say this, and I think, honestly, it's going to sum up my entire opinion of this. If this game came out the same generation as PS2 and GameCube, it would have been a good game. And the reason I say it like that is there's a lot of performance issues it has. When the character, and this is like a small nitpick, but just an example of performance stuff. When the character starts running, he actually slides on the ground for a brief second, like in his standstill pose, and then slides into that animation where he's supposed to be running. So, there are a lot of things that they did not take time to properly fix
Lacks
like
polish.
that. It lacks a lot of polish. There's a lot of similar NPCs and side quests that really don't do anything, which makes you feel like the game is empty in a way. And also, something that I've heard a lot is these two things. And I'll say this real quick about those two things. The main point of this game is the battle system, and that's the big thing that's trying to sell you on the game is how unique it is as a battle system. For one thing, the battle system is random in how it works. The reason being is you can never choose what is it, which is like your attack commands. You never get to choose which of those come into your command list. You gain them as they come, and then you just have to choose between the ones you're given. Also, you have a weird feature. It's an interesting concept, but a weird feature where after you've done your attack and the monster has done their attack, and you've clashed the few times you're supposed to in one turn, you then move on to your next turn. But before that next turn, you kind of go across this Mario Party-esque board. You roll a number, and you pick that many spaces, and you go to that spot on the map. And depending on the number you roll, you can either land on an ally, which is great because they can up your stats, or they can give you a new or they can kind of help you with your battle stuff, or you can completely miss them because of the way you rolled. And so there's too much RNG in this battle system, and because of that, battles can go for a lot longer than they should. I watched the first hour of this game on Game Explain, and it's one of the slowest starting games I've seen. They show you how to do a fight, they throw you right into a fight with a monster, and there's a few mechanics that they have to explain during that fight that honestly confused me. And as sad as this is, I don't think this is the game people wanted it to be. And so that's all I have to say about that. It's a really predictable story. There's some polish that needed to be done with it. The battle system's very RNG, and you're stuck in this town for the entire game.
Next
So-
time, stick to Pokemon, Game Freak. Gee.
No, I want them to try something like this again. I think this was
Try
the
to
wrong way to do it.
Step out of line. Nintendo shows you what's for. Yeah. Little Town Hero. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not gonna
It-
work.
Yeah.
It
Not-
sounds
not
like I
feeling
wouldn't
it.
really care. Like it's called Little Town Hero. I kind of expected just like a little, adventure RPG or whatever.
Mhm.
But if it's got technical issues, then like, nah, that's no good. That's
Yep.
Updog's official review. No good.
Yeah, that's our official tag is no good.
It's either no good or real good.
I like that.
It's
We'll
no
do that from
good.
now on. Real good and no good.
Oh boy.
We're doing it. He said it. We're doing it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Who's next for dog meat?
Husky, give me some meat.
Okay, do you want to talk about Fortnite or Blizzard?
Can we just
which-
pass?
You've just put like 2 cups in front of me, both filled with poison, and told me to pick one.
Okay.
Tell me about Blizzard.
Okay.
Oh no.
So Blizzard, we covered this last week. They banned a Hong Kong player for speaking out against, or speaking out in favor of the Hong Kong protests. Blah blah blah. There's been this big, huge controversy over it, and they're trying to figure out. And one of the big things was like, well, why do you treat this Hong Kong player like that? But then these American college players who are doing this, they've also spoken out in favor. So
Mhm.
they went full bore, and these 3 college Hearthstone players were banned for 6 months, just like the Hong Kong player. The wheels are falling off of the Blizzard train. So this is according to The Verge that I'm reading this from. Blizzard has suspended 3 college Hearthstone players for 6 months after they held up a sign that read "Free Hong Kong, Boycott Blizz," while participating in an official competition stream. The ban, which was first reported by Vice Games, comes just over a week after Blizzard suspended a professional Hearthstone player, NG Blitzchung Waichung, for 6 months. Chung was suspended for showing support for Hong Kong protesters in an interview after Hearthstone's Grandmaster tournament. The incident led to widespread complaints from the gaming community as well as within Blizzard itself. So, once again, the whole Blizzard walkout and everything, and we covered this in detail last show, but the Blizzard walkout, everybody on social media is bearing down on Blizzard. You've got mass cancellations of their subscriptions to Blizzard. You've got people using those characters from Overwatch
Yeah.
specifically as symbols for the Hong Kong protests, specifically May.
Mm-hmm. And you've got a lot of people refunding games too. I've
Yeah.
seen that a lot as well.
And this, it's almost like the cherry on top. They were supposed to have an event for Overwatch coming to Nintendo
Mhm.
16th. That was canceled.
By who? Nintendo?
Blizzard. They
No,
didn't
Blizzard
show
canceled.
Oh boy.
up. They were at no show.
Yeah, so Nintendo was there, but Blizzard was not.
So
Yeah, I know I saw an article this morning about a lot of Blizzard employees are quitting. It's just this is a bad scene. People trying to distance themselves or just getting canceled. So,
Yeah.
know.
Apparently Riot Games is making a lot of stuff kind of in response, it almost seems like. Because they're making a lot of, they're making a card-based game off of League. They're making a new third-person shooter like Overwatch. They're making a lot of the Blizzard games, except they're putting League of Legends characters in it.
interesting.
And so,
yeah,
because I
that
saw
was
an article about that.
That was my other meet. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay.
Riot's coming out with a whole bunch of new games. They're coming out with a fighter.
I didn't see that on the
What kind of
list.
Yeah, I
I'm so
forgot to
sorry.
write it
Like a
down.
2D
You
fighter?
just reminded me.
Oh,
is
that's
what
good. I'm
saying.
glad I reminded you. Sweet.
Yeah, 2D fighter. Could be a traditional fighter. It looks almost Capcom versus Marvel versus Capcom-esque.
Interesting.
That sounds cool.
But yeah, that looks cool. They're coming out with a first-person shooter. Like they don't have names out. It's like Project L and Project A.
Mhm.
So they're
Here, let me see if I can find
after
an
running
article.
this League of Legends for so long, and it's careful because Riot's also owned a lot by
100%.
Tencent. Yeah, they're 100% owned by Tencent. That's interesting though. They haven't banned a player yet though, as far as I know. So
They haven't, but they've also warned players about speaking about politics in their things, which to me, I appreciate that more than not saying anything and then when someone gets political being upset with them. And the reason being is if you ask them to specifically, hey, just try not to talk about politics, you're trying to protect your players. In my opinion, that's what that is. And so I think that's a smart move, personally. If you're going to do anything, you just need to say, hey.
It'll be interesting to see what this happens because they apparently talked about the new fighting game at Evo.
Oh.
So
Cool.
they're making a big move into getting every facet of esports. So that's
I wonder
super
if like
interesting.
if they'll take like the most popular league characters and put them in, or if they'll try to just like.
I know there are a few. I've seen Ari. I've seen the guy who spins.
I don't know who
The
any of these
Mafia
characters are, I'm
guy.
sorry.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I hope Draven is in so he can say League of Draven and I laugh.
That's his name.
That's his name.
That's the name of the game, but he put his name at the end. That's funny. Jangle those keys in front of my face. I'll laugh. Okay.
But yeah, speaking of esports, they also made a new announcement. Now this is weird because I thought Fortnite just offed itself earlier in the week. I was like, Fortnite's dead. It got eaten by a black hole, and then I think just like a few days ago they finally dropped it. Fortnite Season 2, which is basically Fortnite 2. So
Yeah.
they basically revamped a lot of the stuff. It's the same game, but it's got a lot of new features. You can fish guns out of the river.
Yeah, fishing mini game.
Wait a second. Y'all finish.
But yeah,
This is news.
we actually got to watch Ninja because apparently if you're like watching the Fortnite thing in the middle of it,
You just jump out?
it played the trailer briefly and it showed the guy jumping out of the battle bus and then it just threw you right into a game. And I guess Ninja won his first game just
course
jumping
he
into
did.
that. So that was pretty
yeah.
cool. But it's I've never really super been into Fortnite, but if you like Fortnite, now's the time to get
cool
into it
deal.
because they added a lot of new cool features and stuff.
Yeah.
They polished up a lot of the stuff. They brought back a lot of new guns. I don't know what this means, but they said something about bringing back the golden pump and all that stuff. So
They did bring that back.
a lot of new guns, a lot of old guns are coming back. It looks fresh.
It's an interesting like ad campaign. I almost want to say like Smash is very open about their stuff, like when it's about to happen. But like
Mm-hmm.
it's an interesting like idea to get people hyped by just doing things mysteriously.
It was
Not doing
it was
anything.
weird because like for a while Fortnite was just gone.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
very
nuked it.
clandestine.
So
Yeah, and lots of parents were very concerned.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure everybody still has all their stuff too. So
Oh, they do. That's
Okay.
something that that they
That
made
would've been-
sure of.
that
They
would've
were
been
like,
hilarious.
because parents were like messaging on boards like, "Hey, where's my kid's V-Bucks? Because we spent money for this." And they made sure, like they explained, "Don't worry, we're doing something. They're gonna have their V-Bucks. Don't worry
Calm
about
down.
that."
I'm doing a thing.
Yeah,
You'll love it.
exactly.
Relax.
You're gonna love it if you just shut up. Anyway,
If you just shut up, you'll love it.
something I don't think we talked about, apparently that happened on October 8th, and this is about Blizzard, so that's why I thought it was relevant for the Blizzard talk.
Right.
Apparently, Blizzard's co-founder / president Mike Morhaime stepped down
Wow.
on the 8th.
Okay.
So I believe is that right before or right after the controversy with Blizzard banning these players?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't say. Let me.
I don't know.
Let me
I-
look.
That really makes me wonder if he stepped down in defiance towards that, or
It
if he
was a-
stepped down.
It was a week
before
ago.
that happened.
It was a week ago that these guys were banned. So.
Okay, so because the position of president was filled by J. Allen
wa-
Brack,
That
who
was around
the
the same time. It was
Okay.
like basically happening at the same time. So
Oh, well, there you go.
he probably stepped down right as that dropped.
He stepped down at a good time. Anyway, the position was filled by J. Allen Brack, and he was the former executive producer for World of Warcraft.
Wow.
So he's had a freakishly awful first 2 weeks of being president of Blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rough time.
It kind of sucks for him. I feel bad for him in that way because I literally just found that out.
It's a living. Yeah. I think that's all we have for dog meat today.
Is it really?
I think so.
No
All
more
right.
meat.
But mostly just because we've got one big thing:
We gotta do.
the smashing trifecta dogfight.
Colors weaving to aspire flame.
Who will win?
Sparks call to a past
Melee.
named.
Brawl or Smash 4?
I thought you were gonna say who will win Melee, and then just
Stop. That would have been funny.
Melee. Okay. But yeah,
Smash Brothers.
it's gonna be interesting. I think these are all. I think we can all agree that these are all pretty good games.
Oh, they're all
yeah,
good
even
games,
if you're
so.
the worst Smash game, it's like
Well, none of us are
Look
arguing.
at you.
None of
You're
us
still
are
Smash
arguing
game.
I don't think they're.
Smash 64.
I don't know what would the worst Smash game.
I'm
be.
pretty sure.
It's
all of
Smash
us-
64. It was
Yeah.
the first, but it
But
was
it
the
also
worst.
has board the platforms, and none of the other ones have that.
Okay,
I
but it was
loved
the
board the
worst.
platforms.
Gameplay-wise, it's the worst.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
If-
Yeah, but
Gameplay-wise.
If,
I mean,
it-
that's like,
it's the first, so it gets a pass.
yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
think-
fair.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's the worst because it was the first, so it's
Yeah.
automatically, technically, still the best.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I wish
Especially,
they would-
like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like especially with the Nintendo games, like Mario, like the first Mario game, it's not the best, but it's the first Mario game, so it kind of
So people still love it.
It's like automatically the most creative because it wasn't like a sequel to anything.
It was the inciting event.
It was
so.
the pioneer.
But
I
yeah,
really want them to bring back board the platforms.
smashing
Just saying.
trifecta.
Okay.
So we're gonna take
Yeah.
we should probably take a break.
Yeah,
Let's
small
do it.
break. Small break.
Let's see how much time we have. Actually,
We have about 20 minutes or so, I'd say.
if this would work for me.
Yeah, we have about 22 minutes. That's right, actually. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so we'll take a. Do you want to take a small break? You-
Small break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take a small break. We'll just play one song, and we'll be right back. And
Play it
you know
quick.
what song we're gonna play? You already know what it is, baby.
That's right.
All right. So we'll be right back. Don't touch that
Tune in.
dial.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. On that
Hey, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the Doghouse with your hosts, Husky, Dingo, and Updog.
Hey, what's up? You're listening to the Doghouse. We're about to start our Smash Trifecta dog fight.
All right.
But we're not here to talk about Smash Ultimate.
Okay.
Smashing in trifecta.
So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go over 3 categories that each Smash game
Yeah,
kind
but
of
should
has.
we-
And which
should-
ones are we covering, by
I was
the
about
way?
to say, that's a good idea.
I think you wrote them down just now.
Yeah, but I was saying for the audience.
I want to go
I was-
ahead and say real
I'm saying
quick.
I'm asking you because I can't remember. I wrote
I'll
down,
go
like,
ahead and talk.
All right.
Oh, okay.
We're covering, so I will be representing Melee,
Yep.
released in 2001 for the Nintendo GameCube. Dingo.
I have Smash 4, which is the Wii U and 3DS game. So technically I have 2 of them. But anyway, so yeah, I've got those 2. They were released, man, I think it was like 2016 or something. So,
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
I represent Smash Brothers Brawl, the most hated but also loved of the series.
That's actually a really good
It lives
way
in
to
a
say it.
dichotomy.
It lives in a
Okay, sorry,
I think it's
2014.
pretty good.
2014.
I think it's great.
I played it.
Yeah. Of course you played it. It was a Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the thing about these games real
So,
quick,
yeah,
is all of them are good.
We're not talking about Smash 64 because it was the first one.
It's unfair to judge
It's
it.
unfair to judge it.
And
I
board the
actually,
It's like
platforms.
going to an old person's home and just taking a flat iron to
yeah,
a grandpa.
I actually enjoy
It's
that
not
one a
nice.
lot. I'd like if you put all the Smash games
What,
in
you
front of me
enjoy
right
doing
now,
that?
I'd probably play 64 just because I haven't played that one in the longest.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a while either.
Yeah.
Dude,
Also,
but
we're not
board
going to
the
talk about Smash Bros.
platforms.
Ultimate because it could probably outpace
All of
It's
them.
pretty good.
all of them. It's pretty good.
I would say it's the best one. That's personally.
Objectively,
But
it's the
these
best
three, these are the 3 most hotly contested ones between
Yeah.
them, and I think there's like fan bases for each of them. Yeah, everybody's got their opinions on each of
Of
them.
course.
And we're gonna, even though we all think that they're fun to play and they're good, we're gonna throw them in an arena and have them kill each other until only one is alive.
But that's okay. 'cause
So in
that's,
other
that's what they're
words-
used to.
So what we should do, in
They're
other
fighting
words,
games.
is have Melee Fox fight Brawl Meta Knight fight Smash 4 Bayonetta. That's what I'm hearing.
Brawl Meta Knight's gonna win.
Yeah.
I know. That's the problem.
He's
So,
broken. Okay.
If we team up
All right, all right,
together,
all right. Let's
we
get
can
into
kill
this.
him.
yeah,
Let's do
or maybe it's Melee Puff, depending on who you got.
Oh, true. Melee Puff. That's true. It's true.
That's a conversation.
Well, same
or
thing
Ice
with.
Climbers.
I mean, Smash 4 Cloud. I mean,
Oh,
Alright.
we got
Same-
a lot to go over.
same
All right.
concept there.
So let's just jump right into it. Smashing trifecta. So, right, I think we're gonna go over the roster first. Is what we had in mind. So
Yeah,
who
I
wants
don't.
to-
I don't think this is necessarily like the biggest roster because obviously Smash 4 is the biggest one, but like the most balanced and the most, I guess, just the most fun characters in the roster. If that makes sense. I'm gonna say it right now. I think Melee kind of suffers in this area, and I'll explain my point. Like Melee was made in 13 months, a little over a year, and so a lot of the characters in Melee are clones. So there's kind of like it's got the smallest roster, but even then, it's kind of got like a lot of copies in its roster.
Yeah. And because of that, if a character's really good, you have another of that character. But if a character's really
They're
bad,
called Echo characters.
another of that
Echo
character.
Fighters, by the way.
Yeah, Echo
That's the
Fighters.
official.
Oh my
Thing.
god!
you dumb. Well,
Of course,
Brawl's out of the
so
window
stupid.
now.
You got it.
Confirmed.
You tricked me.
I'll say
But
this
yeah.
too, though. I think, and I know, I guess we're technically supposed to be fighting for a game, but I want to look at this in the most general opinion.
Yeah, this is
I will
discussion.
say right now, in terms of balance, Smash 4 had the most attempt to be balanced, purely because of balance patches like constantly coming. But I still feel like it isn't very well balanced either, purely because of 2 characters, namely Cloud and Bayonetta.
Okay,
I truly think
I, don't-
that
I think
they're
I think out of all
unbalanced.
3 of these games, each game has a best character. Melee, you got Fox.
Well, of course.
How where I think the discrepancy is as far as balance goes, and this might actually bleed into gameplay a little bit.
It will probably.
But like you've got like how lopsided is it? What are the characters all there? And, are they all unique? And I honestly I get what you're saying with the whole clone thing, but there are a lot of differences even between the clones. Like there's a world of difference as far as content.
Ooh.
When you get up to the higher levels between Captain Falcon and Ganondorf, they move the same. They have a lot of they look a lot very similar, but the way they operate and the way you're going to be playing them is different,
Yeah,
especially when you
yeah.
start getting to the higher levels. And that
True
goes for
point.
Toon Link as well, because
Toon Link's
not
not-
Toon Link,
Young Link.
Yeah.
Young Link,
Young
because
Link.
you're going to see him played at higher levels, and he's classified as a floaty, and you see
He's full of
it's interesting that you have clone characters, and obviously that's a detriment in a lot of aspects. But at the same time, like I think they're different enough to where like they were just starting to where like they're more like different flavors of fighters that you play. Like maybe you're like I don't really like Link, he's too slow, so you're like I'll play young Link. So
I feel like yeah, at high level play that does kind of make up the difference. But for the average like player, they might I'd feel kind of gypped if I just picked up Melee and said like half these characters are just like Dr. Mario and Mario, really?
yeah, but
Really,
not half the
though?
characters. It's like
Roy
a
and
handful.
But
Mars.
it's like, but I mean, come
Fox
on,
and
they couldn't give
Falco.
Ganondorf his own moveset,
And
to make him.
He
a
was a
more-
last minute addition.
Yes,
So no, they
that's
couldn't.
the point. The game was made too quickly to put in like fully realized characters in each one, and
And,
that
you
kind
know-
of
Yeah.
that was kind of the detriment of
I
later
mean,
games too.
To his credit, those clones did come back in 4, and because like Roy keeps the moveset with a few
Yeah.
small differences.
Yeah.
I mean,
now,
my-
granted, he does have a few things that are different and changed, but Ganondorf, he had similar moveset to Captain Falcon still in Brawl and in 4.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna
Uh,
say.
He
Like
was
There's certain
terrible.
stuff. He was really
my
bad.
excuse is that mine had like a few months of development, and that they were still different enough to be distinguished. What's your game's excuses on that?
My game
I think my
has
roster's pretty good.
Lots of
Yeah, but
lots
they
of
still
good
brought
things on
back
the
clone
roster.
characters.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
saying that.
I'm saying,
I'm not
like-
saying that the new additions aren't good,
Yeah.
but
I'm saying like
Pichu sucked in Melee.
Okay,
That's what I have
I'm
to
saying,
say.
Like using Ganondorf as an example, Ganondorf last minute edition, they gave him Captain Falcon's moveset. That's fine, but that made him Ganondorf until Ultimate. It would feel weird if people like really liked Ganondorf and they changed him up in the next game.
That's true.
if it's just the same as Captain Falcon, then you could just play Captain Falcon.
But
See, I'm
it's
saying
not
that
the
there's enough of a
same.
difference
Yeah,
to where
that's
like
true.
that there's added flavor, and I understand like
I
in
feel what you're
Ultimate,
saying.
I think they rectified
Right.
that, but we're not talking about Ultimate. But
Exactly.
that's my stance that I'm taking. I think we're not gonna agree on this
Probably not.
aspect.
That's true. It's kind of hard to agree on a balance thing in general.
As
You
far
know
as
what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying, like, yeah, at top level play, Melee has, like, I guess the clone thing isn't really an issue, but even then, there aren't as many viable characters, it feels like, for Melee. And that's a problem with all the Smash games, but
yeah. There's a
it-
big jump between B tier and A tier in Melee.
Right.
A big jump.
it feels like the low tier like group is really big in Melee.
yeah,
And in Brawl,
when
it's
you get to the
oh my God, like
hyper competitive end,
Yeah.
I agree. There's a big discrepancy of what people consider to be good and bad. But then again, a lot of professional players also disregard that. I mean, Axe is a player who's playing Pikachu, which is regarded as mid tier, and he won his first major. And there are new players that are coming in and
Yeah.
resetting it and rebounding it, and
I
I
don't
think people underestimate how much of this shift, and
I
there are
don't know.
always going to be bad characters.
That's the thing. Like
They will.
you've
But-
got people like Hungrybox, and I think Armada was good with Peach for a while. Is
Yeah,
that
He
true?
was
I
good
don't-
with
he was a
Peach.
big Peach
I don't know
player.
my Melee competitive stuff very well, but like I don't know if you
Same.
can look at an individual player and say like he's really good at this character and say that character's good or or like not low tier.
Well, I mean, there was always going to be. I mean, in Brawl, there was Meta Knights everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
you weren't gonna. You're gonna. Here's what you're gonna run into. You're gonna run into Meta Knight. You're probably gonna run into
Diddy Kong.
and you're probably
Snake.
and maybe DDD because he has chain grabs. Any character
Yeah.
that had a chain
Yeah.
grab was gonna be used. But
Ice
like,
climbers.
Sonic was meta
Sonic
for a
was
while
fun.
just because of his speed factor.
Right.
He was
And,
so much
you've
fun
got-
to play in Brawl.
you've
And
you've-
Ice Climbers for a while.
This is
too.
and this isn't just
Mhm.
exclusive to Smash. This is every fighting game. You've got really good characters on one end.
Mm.
Like I think
Of the
the
spectrum.
most balanced fighting game I've ever seen, I've ever heard of, was probably Samurai Showdown.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Because like you can pretty much play any character in that, and they're gonna have stuff that they can use. But like
Mhm.
as far as every Smash game, this is every Smash game except for like you can maybe argue Ultimate because there's so many. It's hard to actually
Yeah,
find out
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
where your character stands. But
Mhm.
like there are characters that are one end. I mean, in Brawl,
think-
one of my favorite characters, Wolf, he's completely invalidated by characters who had chain grab. You just couldn't play the
Right.
game.
Mm.
But like,
I think there's a similar situation like that with 4, though.
Mm.
There are a lot of characters. It's hard to balance a lot of characters, but I think 4 did an amazing job balancing them. In terms of, yes, you have your top two boys, or boy and girl, but like everybody else, in terms of, you can go from like C+ and lower, they're kind of trash, but everybody else had like optimal things that made them at least good enough to fight some of the top people.
I think
So.
yeah, like in Melee you see this a little bit with like cases like Hungrybox and Armada taking lower tier characters and kind of
Bringing
bringing
them up.
it to the top. I think that was like easier to do in Smash 4, and I definitely say like everyone there's a lot like the whole rage mechanic and a lot of the game was more a lot of the mechanics kind of felt more balanced to make less viable characters like do better, which isn't to say that there weren't characters that just really sucked.
Oh yeah, Jigglypuff was awful in 4.
Yeah, Jigglypuff was bad, Ganondorf was bad.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
peace. Seriously.
Jigs.
Uh,
Melee killed Jigs. I'll give that to you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think all the rosters are great. I just,
Yeah, they're all cool. I think it's,
and especially the jump from 64, like
Yeah.
Melee. Like when
That's
back
yeah,
in the
that's
day,
yeah.
that's when like the rosters started being of like hundreds of characters, like because
Yeah.
like they're like, what's gonna be in the next Smash game, and you're
Yeah.
like,
when
Melee
people got
Melee
hyped.
started that trend, and like that's when
now we're in Ultimate where we're at 80
now it's actually
characters.
happening, and
It could-
I hate it.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it.
I think it's kind
But
of
yeah.
amazing, but yeah.
So,
As soon as Sora gets in the game, it's over.
I don't know.
But
I as far as Brawl's roster, I feel like the new additions were the coolest. Like Snake and Sonic, I think was like really cool, and Wolf too.
Well, like
But-
you can even look at Wolf, and Wolf's like he's in that game. He's just a hodgepodge of different moves
Yeah.
from other characters, and like they did it better, I think, trying to create like trying to take what they had and just like filling a slot. They're like, yeah, here's Wolf too. I think they were a little bit more creative in that aspect, probably because they had
like
more time.
Falco got his
Yeah.
own moveset. They
But
they
yeah.
did kind of lean away a little bit from some of the clone characters
Yeah.
from Melee, but
I think if you consider the time that was spent in having to put it, I think Melee did just fine. I don't think there's anything when you consider the circumstances and what we got for it. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with Melee, and we got Mewtwo. Come on,
I don't
got
think there's
Mewtwo,
anything
baby.
wrong with any of them. I'll be real
Yeah.
with that. There's
don't
nothing
think-
wrong with any of them.
I don't think
in
there's anything
particular.
wrong. But personally, I think the Brawl one is the best. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Snake from Metal Gear Solid. Why is he here? Why does he have a gun?
I just want to
I'm
say
scared.
Friends with
we spent a
Sakurai.
lot of time on
Kojima's
this
friends with
topic.
Sakurai.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we kind of went into gameplay a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah, we did.
We can go into content a little bit now.
Let's do that.
Do we want to award a winner for a roster?
I
Or
feel
are
like we
just
were
gonna do that at
all
the
on
end?
different pages on that.
Yeah,
So-
I think
Let's jump into content.
Let's just do that. Yeah, that's
So-
fine. We'll let the viewer decide who wins this.
yeah, I definitely think Smash 4 is the weakest as far as content.
What do you
What
have
would
to
you
say
say
about
by that? Like, what do you mean?
Your adventure mode sucks.
Smash Run sucks.
classic
Smash Board
mode
sucks.
sucks.
Smashboard
Smash board sucks.
is not the best. I think it's fine, but it's not the best.
If you
Smash Run for the
if-
3DS, do not even at me. That was fun.
If you wanted to play Smash Run, you had to buy the
You had to play it on
inferior
the
version of the
3DS.
game.
It wasn't the inferior version. It was
It
the one that
was.
came
It
out
was.
first.
It was awful
It was
because you had to play it on the
bad.
3DS.
the 3D. Exactly. It was the first portable
You had to use that little-
Smash
That's not
game.
good. It's awful.
You had to
It
use
was
that-
great.
It was
Portable
bad.
Smash games are awful.
It wasn't bad.
No.
Okay, so wait,
No.
hold on. Wait,
No,
wait,
no,
wait.
no.
Wait. Did you just say portable Smash games are bad? Because that includes Ultimate now. It is a portable Smash
Playing
game.
it on the Joy-Con
You can play it on a
sucks.
console.
You can
It's
play
not
it with
divided.
the Pro Controller.
They didn't
and
slice
it's
the
portable.
features in half. They didn't slice the features in half and say you can only
They
play
gave you
it on
classic
portable.
mode still.
I can play everything that I play
Oh my
on
gosh.
portable. I can play,
play-
on a console.
Can you play Melee portable?
Can I
no,
play- can I-
exactly. But you can play Smash 4 portable. It's
Listen.
fine. It plays good.
No, it
I'm-
sucks.
It's
Trust me,
still
I
the
played
same
it.
game.
No. Listen, I was sitting there in the lines at Target. I bought Smash for the 3DS. It was
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing because it's like a Smash 3DS. You know what? I changed my mind. Smash for the 3DS is the worst one. That's got to be the worst one because I have to play it on the freaking 3DS. I'd rather use that clunky
How do you
64
not like the
I don't even want to
Yes.
play Monster Hunter on the 3DS.
Okay, look.
Listen, it's
I
just
love
not
that
fun.
franchise.
Holding
Here's
a
the
plastic
deal.
square and like using that little slider thing to move around. It's not fun. It's
I
hard
think
to
when
do
it comes
anything.
to this entirety, like in the entirety of just this entire discussion, it all boils down to opinion. In
Listen,
the end,
Your opinion
let's
is
just be
wrong.
honest. It all boils down to
Listen,
opinion.
If
Now
as
I
Reggie
think
said, if it's not fun, why bother?
okay,
And I
exactly.
I didn't buy it. I
you
played
just-
it.
And I had
pulled
fun
out
with
the
I
Smash
played it for
4.
like 5 minutes, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm done.
Okay,
It's the only Smash game I haven't
listen.
bought.
Okay.
Well, sucks to suck. That's all I can
Let-
tell you.
Okay.
Because it was
I
still
think.
fun.
I think.
Great
I
rebuttal.
just think that they had some interesting they had like a whole board game aesthetic with Smash 4. That's interesting. I don't think it's as good as Melee or Brawls. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think Subspace Emissary is the best adventure mode.
I like Subspace Emissary.
I'll say it's the
I hate
best
the
adventure
platforming
mode.
in it.
Yeah,
I think it's awful.
Wait, hold on, wait.
I like the maze at the
Platforming-
end. The maze at the end is great.
Yeah,
The Great
I like-
Maze,
I love the
fantastic.
story. I
Platforming in
love
a platforming fighter is bad.
It's not good platforming.
No,
Oh,
it's
I
not
enjoyed
good.
it.
It's not good platforming. It's
Yeah,
I had
I
fun
think
with it.
I definitely think it was like it was good, but like as a platforming kind of adventure mode, it's not the
until
best.
you got to the maze, it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
I will say that like
Best way to unlock the character.
Melee suffers because it doesn't have a story mode. I think that's great that Brawl has a story
Yeah.
mode. It was fun. That was fun. I think the adventure mode is really fun. Going through the dungeon in Melee,
Yeah,
the,
going through
the Zelda dungeon, super fun. You know, we still have hit the targets, everything.
Every character had their own hit the target, which was cool. But I think for Brawl, like I kind of liked seeing which characters could get the highest score on different smash
Yeah.
the target.
I
Yeah,
think
some of them were certainly better at
The
others.
cool thing
yeah.
about the old hit the targets, and we're almost running out of time, but we might still keep going on the
YouTube.
on the
YouTube,
YouTube
yeah.
until we finish this. So if you're listening in on radio,
Jump
go
to
listen
YouTube
in
now.
on jump to YouTube because we're gonna go a few minutes over, I think. But you guys have been listening to Doghouse, and we're about a minute and a half out. But
Yeah.
the cool thing about the Melee hit the targets was that it was tailored to make you learn each character.
Mm.
Like young Link's, like, how do you get out of this pit that you're in? Well, if the only way to get out of it is that you have to learn the wall jump, and that teaches you a very big mechanic of the game.
Right.
Just doing that one simple thing. So I know, like, I appreciate the way Brawl did it, and where like you can, my favorite thing of the old one was like using Wolf's laser to fire through the little narrow gaps on that one. But like, I really appreciate the way that, and this is carried over from Smash 54, that each hit the target is tailored to make you learn how to play that character, so that you have a good knowledge of each character.
The only problem with that is, like, as a kid trying to play that, I couldn't wall jump, so I
That's true.
sucked. I sucked as a young boy, and I just couldn't do that. Bit
Fighting
of the
games aren't
content.
for everybody, kid.
So I
Gee,
want to go
go
ahead and
play
say
Brawl.
this.
I'm
Y'all have thrown
That's the thing. Brawl's just more
Joking, though.
accessible.
I'm
y'all have
I'm not
thrown
gonna,
Smash 4 away, and I just want
I'm
to
not
say
gonna
some
argue
things
that.
really quick
Okay.
to just go ahead and put this back in perspective.
Before you
because
do-
it definitely has a contest.
Before you do, we're gonna be on YouTube. You guys have been listening to the Doghouse. We're about to sign off on the
On air,
podcast
yes.
Yeah.
from CBC. Go to YouTube, to the Tower Radio channel, CBC Tower Radio channel. Listen to us live. You guys have been listening. Tomorrow we're gonna be coming at you with the
Dungeon Dogs.
Dungeon
We're
Dogs.
gonna conclude the Swamp Fire arc
Mhm.
of the Scary Fire arc.
Swamp Fire.
Yeah.
Of the
You guys have
Dungeon
been listening to the Doghouse, so tune in next week, same time.
Yeah. Awesome. Now
All
to
right.
jump into this.
Oh boy.
So,
Yeah.
guys, I want to
Tell
say
me-
this.
tell
Y'all
me
are
what you
talking a
have.
lot about the story and like all that kind of thing, which that's fine, whatever. Once you've done it once, you don't do it again. I'm
I did
sorry.
it 3 times.
You don't. Okay, you're not the average player.
I
I'll
played
go
it
ahead
on
and say
every
that right
difficulty.
now because you usually just play through it one time. Something you do all the time is the multiplayer aspect, and something that the Wii U version did that neither of y'all's did was 8-player Smash, which is a huge
Oh
development.
yeah, we're talking about content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
content in the game.
yeah.
That's a good
And
point.
so 8 people fighting at the same time was something no one had ever thought of. And then finally, for it to be added was huge. Another thing with content, this is a positive and a negative depending on who you are, is DLC fighters. People that weren't in the original game got to be added later on. Granted, some of them were a little bit money.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
That's true.
That's fine.
But it's DLC.
It's not.
Except Mewtwo was actually free if you got the game already. So
yeah, I get what you're saying.
you get Mewtwo back. You got Lucas back. You got Cloud in that game at that point. You got Bayo in that game. You got Corrin in that game. So, like, they had DLC, which is huge. And then another thing is y'all ran out the 3DS version. And I understand some people don't like playing fighting games
It
on a
sucks.
3DS. That's fine.
It's not
But it also had the best exclusive mode, which was Smash Run. Smash Run was so much fun because you're in this huge subspace-esque arena.
good. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Don't
you
lean
have
towards
to.
me
Oh,
when
I'm
you're
leaning
talking.
towards you when I did that.
It's spooky.
So it's a huge arena, And instead of being stuck there for 30 minutes playing one level, you're stuck there for about 10 minutes. You beat everything up, you get boosts, and then you go through a cool, unique challenge.
Did you spend 30 minutes playing a level on?
I'm
Subspace
sorry, but how
Emissary?
long was the Great Maze again?
As long as you made it. If you sucked, it took forever.
Yeah, how long did it take you?
I don't know. I played it for like an hour, went to bed, got up the next morning, beat it.
How long did it take you that
I
next
enjoyed
morning?
I enjoyed every moment of it.
It got tedious at points. I'm sorry. I felt it eventually overstayed its welcome.
Okay.
Eventually.
Was it as tedious as actually trying to enjoy an 8-man Smash? Because while it was fun,
8-Man Smash was amazing.
I hate it.
Was it as tedious as actually
It's a
trying to play
gimmick.
on the 3DS?
Oh, I think it was one of the best things they added was 8-player Smash.
I think
Okay.
it's a giant
It's one of
gimmick.
the best content-related things to be added to Smash.
Okay. I think.
Smash is an entire gimmick. What's your
Oh,
Okay,
point?
God.
listen.
What you just said makes no sense.
Smash in and of itself is a gimmick of a fighting game.
It's a fighting
It's
game.
a percentage-based fighting
it's
game
a
where the
party-
more percent
it's-
you have,
it's
the higher you go.
It's a party fighting game. But listen,
It's a gimmick.
okay, 4-player.
That's
Like
what
He's
makes
just
it
saying
unique.
words
Listen,
at this point.
above 4 players,
were
like
you.
having more than 4 players play Smash is like an interesting idea. I don't think it was executed very well in 4. And here are my points. When you're on a smaller stage, it's very difficult to tell what you're doing, even more so than like a normal Smash match.
That's why they limited it to certain big stages.
Yeah, they introduce really big stages that make it even harder to see because your character is too small on the screen. Like, it sounds like a good idea, but in execution, it's kind of ugly. You know? I mean, yeah, it's something it has over the other 2 games because they haven't done it before, but it probably could have been done a lot better.
They still have it, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Congratulations, you
Great.
did it. Okay. Yeah. I love Subspace Emissary so much. It was like the realization of all like the opening cutscenes where you see these characters come to life and like interact and stuff. You had like a whole like 2-hour long story where you got to like see them, just go on adventures together and like form friendships and stuff. And if you knew where to look, you could find the secret Jigglypuff on the map.
And the Toon Link and Wolf.
And Toon Link
Yep.
and Wolf, yeah.
And that was the best way to unlock characters.
Trophy
in Brawl.
collecting was pretty fun in that, except when you had to go get the bosses and you had to wait there for a trophy stand to show up in the middle of a boss fight is ways that rips you in half over and over again.
I liked,
That's
and
pretty
this
fun.
is something I want to point out for Brawl. I really liked the shooting gallery, the little coin gallery where
That
you
was
literally
fun.
shot at the trophies.
what?
I had a lot of fun with that.
Brawl also had bosses, but I don't think the other 2. Well, Melee sort of did. He had
Melee had
3 bosses. 3 bosses.
3 bosses. You had
Giga
Master Hand,
Bowser,
Crazy Hand,
and
and if you
Giga
complete Adventure Mode in under 18 minutes, you get to fight Giga Bowser.
I don't-
That was one of the biggest moments in gaming.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. That was pretty cool. I don't remember if
Yeah.
Giga Bowser was in Brawl.
He was that was when they
Final
introduced Final
Smash.
Smashes. So
Yep.
yeah, he was Bowser's Final
right.
Smash.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it was
I think
interesting
he's-
because he was so hard to
I want to
fight.
say he's in the event modes for both, like all 3 games. I want to say, because
I don't know.
I think he's always in the final fight. Either
Yeah.
that or they just
I
make a
don't
big
know. I
Bowser.
just-
One of the 2.
I just love the idea of Pikachu and Samus going on adventures.
yeah,
was
it
huge.
had a lot of
Mhm.
cool character
That's a
moments.
charm.
I would like to knock it for not having voice acting, but
It was.
none of the other games do either.
Yeah,
I think
except
it works
Ultimate,
well,
but
Ultimate
even
did.
then, it's
Ugh.
It was more than I think anybody expected. I think
like it had
it was
actual-
that big selling point. I think, but like, it was a big selling point, but like, it got kind of tedious up until you got to the Great Maze, I think, and there are certain people who still think it's tedious. So like, while it's great, it's sort of like the
It might be
8-man
a bit-
Smash. It
it-
probably could have been done better.
yeah.
I don't know. I think it was perfect that's just my personal
Now,
opinion.
something I will give credit to you on this is every level was technically different.
That's
You're
true.
not playing through the exact same adventure every time.
Yeah.
We can't say the same for Melee, and we can't say the same for Smash 4. So, because in Melee, you could have certain situations that are different, but it's basically the same adventure.
Yeah, and like
Yeah, it
and
was
so-
like the 60. It was like the old 64 model, which
Exactly.
is there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that,
So.
but I think
It
in
was
terms of the
definitely like a-
uniqueness, Brawl gives that.
Yeah,
I wanna-
exactly.
like the adventure mode in Melee was like you're trying to get the highest score, but in Brawl it definitely felt like an
just
adventure,
an adventure.
mode, like an actual story mode.
And it had the cool little like sticker thing where each
Yeah,
of the
you could do
stickers
the
gave
stickers.
you RPG elements. It
Did
was
anyone
neat.
actually use those?
I did.
I did too. Come here.
I will say the one thing I liked
It was
from
super
Smash
useful.
from Smash 4 in terms of content. I like how they redid the event matches,
Yeah, I like that too.
so you could have different difficulties and you get different rewards for that
Oh,
one. So
yeah, that was
I wanted to
pretty cool.
give props to each one because
Yeah, I tried
know
doing
we
that
were-
too.
we were good biting at each other, but like
Yeah, I know.
I want to.
I want to be nice to everybody.
I think Melee had the best, I think it had the most event matches. If that's
I
true.
don't know. Let me
There
look.
was a big pile of
There
event
was
matches.
there was a lot. I know there was
Good.
one that was they redid in Smash 4. It was where you, Slippy made these invisible things for the Star
Yeah.
Fox crew, and you had to fight them.
It was kind of like
weird.
the.
But that's how you got trophies in that one.
Yep.
It was kind of like the spirit mode in Ultimate. It was just a bunch of situations from different games and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
recreated in
Yeah.
Melee.
There were 51 in Melee. There
I'd
were
rather play the melee
let's
events
see.
than the ultimate.
41.
Spirit Battle.
Yeah.
There were 62 if you include co-op events in Brawl, because there was the co-op ones, and so
Right.
that was there. And in Smash for Wii U, why does it not just? Okay, let me count this real quick. 1, 2, 3,
Oh man,
50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I liked fighting the re-deads also in that.
Yeah, the Zelda.
Remember-
So there were 75 in Wii U, so it technically had the most. It was only a little bit ahead of Brawl, which was only a little bit ahead of
And I
Melee.
remember you had to unlock
Wasn't a
more
lot.
too, you had to unlock more roster thing.
There were pathways.
There was a whole bunch of final battles and stuff.
This was for Wii U. I know that you probably can't see this on screen.
It was
but
it
you can
looks
look
like
it
it's
up.
almost designed like the Great Maze a little bit.
It's just a short event that you do really quickly, and then you go up to something
Yeah.
else, and
So
Go to there.
Those,
They made a
these were
lot
kind of
more
the
emphasis.
precursors to the spirit battles that we have
Right.
today. But
and then they had group ones for whenever you had a friend to
I'm
fight
not-
with you.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that Melee is bursting with all the content you can do, because I think if I'm gonna make any argument, it's that Melee can stand on its gameplay. But I think the content is there. If you're a casual Melee player, you can be a casual Melee player. There's fun to be had. I had
I
a
think
lot
so.
of fun in the Melee stuff. Plus the surprise when Marth or something showed up at the end of a classic mode. I was like, ooh! I remember Roy.
Japanese boy.
Roy hit me with a fully charged neutral B, and I remember that to this day. I was like, I wanted to go back and beat him so much. It's that content. It kept me wanting to play. I know there's not as much as Smash 4 or Brawl, but I think the stuff that's there is great. It's a great game. It's full of content that just makes you want to keep playing. And I love the way they did trophies too, because that made me want to get trophies. A lot of the stuff that we have now, I'm like, I don't really care if I get all the trophies. One, because there's a lot,
There's way too
but
many.
it was a little bit easier to get a lot of trophies. I love the coin slot thing, but that kind of made it easier. Where in this one, the only way you get trophies,
Put it in that machine.
you gotta go through the event battles, or you gotta unlock it with classic or something.
You have the machine, the one where if you put enough coins in it, you get a trophy.
Oh, the slot machine.
the
Okay,
slot
well,
machine.
never
yeah,
mind
yeah,
then.
yeah.
But that was pretty fun. But not as fun as that.
I liked getting trophies in all the Smash games.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
But
but I
like-
understood what you were saying though.
I like the way that they do that, but there's certain trophies that are hidden behind specific things, like Giga Bowser. You have to actually
Beat 'em.
beat Giga Bowser to go get the trophy, and then you have the Daisy trophy that has a secret eye on the back of her head.
Yeah, which was weird, by the way. I don't understand that Nintendo.
It's a Kirby lore thing. Don't worry about
Kirby
it.
lore.
But
Everything's Kirby lore.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's the nightmare reformed.
man.
Anyway, I definitely feel like
plus you had the race to the finish too in my game, which was fun.
I like
If not
Melee's. I
stressful.
like
Wait, for
Melee's
F-Zero
classic mode.
or for the Mushroom Kingdom?
It was just a big polygonic hallway that you
Oh,
had to,
yeah. That was in 64
I like-
too.
I
it
like-
was
That's right.
terrifying.
I love
pretty
the
freaky.
classic mode in all the games. But I
Yeah.
remember playing it in actually not as much for Smash 4 for some reason
Mm-hmm.
because it was a little bit
Smash Bros. Classic mode was really hard.
it was weird. too.
difficult.
You had to fight a bunch of
Because you had
people at
Master
once.
Core, and you had
I didn't like
especially
the
if you
way
went to
that-
9.9.
I didn't like the way you had to select the enemies on this board, but I thought the
Yeah.
final boss it was really hard, and I really liked that aspect.
Yeah.
I wish it would just had a traditional leading up to that.
I agree.
So-
I think that's one of the weak points of Classic Mode in 4 is that it's smart. I like that they want you to choose a path. I kind of like that idea, but I just wish the design choice of it was different, if that makes sense.
I remember.
So.
I'm not entirely sure this is true, but I remember playing the classic mode in. First of all, the classic mode in Brawl looked really cool. Like you were in this weird room, and there were like the hearts and stuff.
Oh, was
that
All Star
classic
mode?
mode or was that All Star mode?
All-Star mode started.
All-Star mode, yeah. That's
It
what I'm
started
talking
in
about.
Melee, and then
Yeah, it came
it's in
up.
all of them.
Yeah.
But
That's
I remember,
something I
like,
forgot
if you-
about.
If you played All-Star mode on like Brawl, like at the hard difficulties, I remember like sometimes like Ridley or Rayquaza, you'd have to fight them along with some of the characters in the roster. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
no, please. And like the hard Ridley fight, like when you're on the Blue Falcon going through the pipe and stuff. and
Meta
it's just
Ridley, yeah.
Like, yeah. Ugh. It was awesome.
That's scary, dude.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, I was supposed to say the other Ridley was super easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That just brought back a
Samus
lot of
and Pikachu
memories. Sorry.
broke then.
Do you remember like I'm sorry I keep coming back to Subspace Emissary, but like that cutscene where Samus gets just like grabbed and like
Oh,
dragged up the
yeah,
huge pipe by Ridley.
yeah. That one's really cool.
Pretty good.
It's good.
I think they came back to that silo at
Yeah,
the
in
end during
the
the
trailer
trailer
for
when they were
Ridley and-
introducing Ridley. I think that was like a slight callback. Mega Man's dead. Anyways,
And so is Mario.
So is Mario, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that's something I want to say for like all these games. As far as cinematics go, all of them look really good.
oh yeah,
Like for
Yeah.
their own console and what they're on, the cutscenes are cool for every game. They look really good.
okay, but we got to settle this right now. So
You want to talk about gameplay real quick?
I think we kind of did
we'll,
already.
we'll do a little bit more of like competitive and how it goes. But before we jump into gameplay, we want to do it briefly because we don't want to be here too long.
Yeah.
Over thing. All right, so in mine they had the fighting polygon. They had the wire. What were they? called?
Wireframes.
Wireframes. They had the alloys in Brawl. What did they have in 4 again?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
They may have just had like.
they were like Mii Fighter.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right, the Mii fighting
you lose.
team. Yeah, I'll give you guys that. I do lose on that front.
Okay, but
Although it is the first game to introduce Mii's, which in a way is
well, it was a
cool,
gimmick, and
but and it
That's
should have
cool.
been in
That's-
Brawl.
it was a
but
thing. I didn't mind it, but I was like, eh. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
I liked
Yeah.
the Mii Brawler though. Mii Brawler in Smash 4 was actually a lot of fun to play.
I think the Mii Fighters are interesting. I think they should have been like expanded upon. There should have been a lot more stuff for them. Oh, my game had stage builder.
Yeah, mine did too.
Was there stage builder in Smash 4?
Yep. And we also had the custom special moves, which were both stupid
Nobody
and
used
also
those.
incredibly powerful.
Nobody used
Hey,
those.
dude, DK had a broken one where instead of his charge punch like actually hitting someone, it was a huge wind box.
Yeah.
And if someone was at like 100% or so, you literally just pushed them off stage and they died.
They're all pretty gross.
There were some gross ones and they were fun to use, but
Yeah.
none of the DLC characters had them, which was kind of sad. But
yeah,
everyone
but
else
your
did.
game put Little Mac in the franchise. Gross.
Well, actually, that was Brawl because
Uh.
Little Mac was an assist trophy.
Yeah, that's where he belonged, just as a little assist trophy.
Yeah, they did it right. I'm just joking with you.
Oh, dude, Little Mac was
All right,
fun for
so
like 5
who
minutes.
wins,
I
the
think-
alloys or the wireframes?
I think Brawl wins just because it had like a realized story mode.
I do like the alloys better, but no, I'm saying who wins the
Oh,
wires
oh,
between
or the
those two?
alloys?
Oh, I
What
like.
did the alloys look like? What was that?
They were like the
I
weird.
think the alloys
They were
look
like
cooler.
polygonal kind of characters.
They all had like little like
Um,
these little lights inside of them.
yeah,
They're all like robots.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look up a picture.
Look at the fighting alloy team.
Why weren't they all just dittos in one of the
Fighting
games?
alloy
Why wasn't that a
team.
thing?
Well, actually,
know.
it's kind of like a callback to 64 with the alloys.
Fighting polygon team? Okay, so
Here's a good picture of him.
who do you guys?
Oh God, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, I totally forgot about these until you brought them up, and then I was like, oh,
I guess we'll jump into gameplay.
they were kind of cool though. Gameplay. Wow, they all play like Smash.
I think Brawl is
Don't.
probably on the low end of this one.
That's
I was gonna
fair.
Say, I was like, oh.
Fair to admit.
I think okay, it's the most accessible,
Yeah.
but it's the most shallow as far as like how far you can take it.
There are a lot of, and there are some exploits in Melee as well, but like most of that just led to the game getting more crazy in the upper end. Whereas Brawl, it
Yeah.
led to like a lot of the lower roster just getting like
Pummeled,
nixed
just
out.
destroyed,
I think
yeah.
when it comes to balance, Wii U and 3DS wins this one.
It all comes
To balance
before
in terms of
before we talk about that.
But-
I think the whole thing about Brawl, which was unfortunate, was that Melee, you have Fox. He's generally presumed to be the best character, but you have other characters that bring other things. Like, how do these other characters perform, like in neutral stuff? In Brawl, it was all about which character stands the most chance against Meta Knight.
Yeah,
And towards the end,
Meta Knight was.
that's
was
what
just Meta Knight.
That's what Smash 4 was about as well. Who stood the most chance against Bayonetta?
And
Cloud
Cloud.
did.
In Cloud, yeah.
And now who stands the most chance against Cloud in his Nair? It was
I
not
don't
Link.
know. I definitely
Trust
feel
me,
like,
I played him for 4 years. He sucks.
I think there were some. I think in 4, granted, those characters were broken, and if you knew how to use them, it was disgusting. But whenever it came to like the average player, you didn't find any really cheap gimmicks, because usually like I was a player that played semi-competitively, and I had no idea how to
Yeah.
pull off Bayonetta stuff,
Bayonetta's
yeah.
thing was hard to do.
and so
Like,
that
I
took
fe-
skill.
I definitely.
And then,
Yeah, I'm
okay, sorry. No, you continue. I'm sorry.
I definitely feel like when you pick up Melee and you play as all the characters, I guess it's kind of like
I think your
I-
thing is more balanced.
yeah.
I agree.
Like when I pick
I
up
think in
Melee,
terms of just balance, it is.
yeah.
Now, in terms of it's the best gameplay or not, that's always going to come to opinion. If you want a faster game, Melee is going to be your
I think-
obvious choice.
Well, I think Melee just has the most depth in its game too, because like I know you have perfect pivot and stuff, and I think those were cool directions.
Was
That
Perfect Shield in Melee?
you
I
had
actually
light,
don't know that.
You had light
No.
shield.
Like, what's Light Shield?
I don't know. It's a different type of shield.
There's two kinds of shield. Like
I was
the-
like, wait.
It's like a special shield that's like it's more resistant to breaking, but like and
It's
it
flex-
shrinks.
a flexible
slower.
shield.
It shrinks slower.
Why?
It's like there was a whole bunch of depth to that game, and like you don't have to get into that if you don't want to get in competitive. But like, it's Melee's crazy. Melee's nuts,
I feel like
but it's so fun.
Can we just? I wanna point this out, and Eli, back me up here. Tripping. How do you feel?
oh yeah, the tripping's bad. I mean,
I don't
like I
think-
said, I think
I don't think he's trying to argue.
I
for
think
that.
Brawl.
Oh, I
is-
know, I'm
Brawl,
messing with him.
I'm gonna give this one to you guys. I think Brawl is definitely on the weaker end of this. Just like I think Smash 4 is on the weaker
But
end
there
of
was
the
some cool
content.
I like some stuff about Brawl.
There's
I
some
will
cool
say, like,
Yeah.
Chain
But,
grabbing
like-
is actually cool. Now I get that it's lame or whatever, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I
I
think,
like
there
that.
I think there should have been an in-game limit to that, but you know,
Yes.
I will say this. I think like when I pick up Brawl, I can instantly tell like, okay, Meta Knight and like Diddy Kong, best characters in the game. When I pick up Melee, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I look at other people playing, and I definitely feel like Fox and like Marth. I can tell who the best character is,
yeah.
but like Bayonetta didn't really make it to like she didn't start winning all the tournaments until like a year before the game ended.
Yeah.
Like that was
Well,
kind of
she
a,
was really big when she dropped, and then they had a patch.
yeah.
That
And
was
then-
one thing that
yeah,
you
that's true. The
They bring
patch-
patches, but then they stopped patching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
point is-
even with the patch, she still had issues where she was a little bit broke, but she
Oh,
had
yeah.
she had less of those.
But
It just
even-
took time to lab something else ridiculous.
even
Yeah.
even still like the best the best players in the game like I don't know what's his name, Nario or whatever. You had like
Nairo?
You had like Bayonetta slayers, you know. You
Yeah,
had
you definitely did.
You had your people who
Esam
knew
was
how to
one of those.
MKLeo
Yeah.
and yeah.
Esam did a really good job against Bayos,
Yeah.
which was crazy.
anyone with like a really heavy forward air could get out of it if they knew what they were doing. Which
or a
like,
quick move in general.
I feel like if Smash Forward kept going, I think like, and this is a big maybe, I don't know like what darkest timeline this is. I feel like we would have gotten past the Bayonetta meta. I think she would have the Bayo meta. I think she would have been one of the
Bayonetta.
best characters in the game. But
It was kind of blown out of proportion, but like you can
Yeah.
definitely tell she's the best character in the game, and you have to
Yes.
think when you're going to competitive like on a higher scale, you have to think, okay, how do I play against a Bayonetta? But like and that's the problem with Melee as well. You gotta learn how to play against.
Nair, sorry.
Yeah, you have to learn how to and DI and all that fancy stuff. But like you also have to think about in this game, like I know there are at least 4 characters that you have to actively think about how you're gonna play. That's the 2 Spaceys, Fox and Falco.
Mm-hmm.
You got Sheik. You got Marth. And those are
Those are the
not
big
even
4.
Sheik.
I would say
I'm
Puff
gonna, I'm
more
gonna
than
say
Sheik.
Puff now because
Yeah.
she's gotten really big. Those are the 4 characters that you have to think about how you're gonna play. Sheik was really big for a minute.
For
That's
a
why
little
like
bit.
Fox and Falco have always been at the top, but like around that area, there's always been like shifting a little bit. Like sometimes Sheik is up, sometimes Peach is up.
I think the point we're kind of
You know.
coming to is like each game had like one really powerful like best character in the game, and that's kind of been the case up until like Ultimate, where we have like 5 or 6
We have a few.
really good
Yeah,
characters.
which is why it's one of
Yeah.
the best games.
I think it's
personally.
also lopsided in Fox's favor because, like, for people playing them because, like, there's that whole culture of 1v1
Mango
Fox
Nation.
only.
well, I
Fox
definitely feel like
Mango
That was-
some of,
yeah.
some of the physics of Melee kind of just give Fox his
Yeah,
playstyle like an edge.
and that happened. That happened in Brawl as
Yes.
well. But like, it's
oh god!
Oh yes, gliding.
Smash is a big.
That was so much fun though.
Smash is a big physics oriented game.
Yeah.
So like any character that can take advantage of the physics at play, they're gonna be on top.
Yeah.
So like right now, given that there's no just using ultimate, given that there's no like consistent like way to air dodge
no
a
clear
lot
one, yeah.
and it's kind of edge guarding is a big thing in this. Pikachu is really, really good in this game because she can do all those things and she can back to stage without being threatened hardly
Without
ever.
being dead.
So
And lots of options to get back to the stage.
Right.
I'm gonna say
Same
that
with Nest.
I'm
too,
gonna
in
say
way.
that due to depth of gameplay and just a higher level, but also how fun it can be, and people don't like to talk about melee casual, but it can be really fun on the casual level. I was casual for the entire time I played it, and I had a blast. So like I think melee edges out in gameplay, though
gonna
I'm
throw
not
out
saying that
the-
the other ones are bad because I played all of them.
I'm going to throw out the emotion card. We all started playing together with Smash 4.
That makes it the worst one, though. I met you both.
Had to play Smash 4 Link for 4 years. I hate it.
Okay.
Who chose to live that
think-
life? That
I
wasn't
couldn't
me.
play
Yeah.
anybody else. They're so hard.
I feel like like melee, you can go really far into melee. You can get like really deep into the physics and do some crazy stuff, but it's just not as like fun for me. It's harder than a lot of the other Smash games.
It is harder.
Whereas Brawl is like
Definitely difficult.
like I have a lot of fun with it, but I always end up playing it like the least amount of time because it's so like
It's floaty.
easy.
It's
and
kinda
weird.
simple.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's a good
simple.
way to put it.
So I feel like Smash 4 like both like player bases can play that and like sort of have fun with it. So I think Smash 4 just kind of edges out the other two.
I want to say, in defense of Brawl, I feel like a big reason it feels slower and kind of floaty is because I'm betting some people, whenever Melee, like, in terms of the casuals,
it was an
when Melee
attempted,
started petering
like, course
out.
correction of Melee.
Yes, I think some people that were really casual were like, man, Melee's just really fast, and sometimes I just don't know what's happening. So then they made it slower, but then they also had Meta Knight.
It's the most like accessible Smash, and it definitely grew the player base by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But it gets old fast.
Coming from the perception of a kid who was like really little and played a lot of Melee,
That was me, too.
I wasn't thinking Melee's too fast. I wasn't thinking that Brawl was too slow. I was just thinking, man, I sure do love Smash.
That's kind of me.
I love these characters and everything. I was really excited when Brawl came out. I don't remember being as on fire for Brawl as I was
Did you have a Wii?
for that.
Oh,
I did.
dude, I was on. Okay, so I started with Melee, and I really liked Melee. I actually beat my older brother in that game, and that's why I like Smash so much now.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
made him hate Smash because I beat him.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the same, I think.
I couldn't-
which
I-
I
as
hate.
much as I
But
did.
I couldn't beat my older brother at Melee, but when we switched to Brawl, I destroyed him with Pit
oh, nice.
pretty consistently.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
who you
weird.
started playing in Brawl was actually Pit. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
we did that. And see, for me, I just kind of started realizing what the internet was whenever Brawl started coming out. And so when Nintendo was like, yeah, we're going to start releasing like weekly updates, I was on the Smash
in this game.
I was on the Smash Dojo literally every day,
oh yeah.
waiting for news.
I remember the hype for Brawl was
Yes.
was big.
And then also like riding the hype up to Wii U and 3DS, all the memes and the culture around it was funny. But we also had like some cool little updates from Sakurai himself. That's whenever he really started getting into it personally and telling us stuff.
Yeah, that's
So I think in terms of like hype, and this is purely because I was younger. I am positive that people that had 64 as a kid and then grew into Melee probably had the same experience I had going into Brawl. But because I was younger, I think those two did a better job on marketing.
Yeah, I think Brawl is like the most,
Yeah.
just like in the way it's kind of portrays itself in the music and a lot of the roster and stuff. I think Brawl is like the most hype Smash game. Like when Smash Ultimate came out and they
Like
showed
leading up to its
yeah.
release.
like
I
when
can agree.
Smash Ultimate came out and everyone was looking at characters who coming back. They were looking at the Brawl characters.
I didn't know we
That's
were
true.
basing our judgment on hype. Okay.
Well, no, I'm going to
Listen,
marketing. That's
every-
more of what I'm doing.
Everything that your game's achieved is achieved because of Melee. I did it. I was there when the laws were written.
Oh my
So
God.
I feel maybe if they had more time to make Melee, it would look a lot more like Brawl.
It's interesting. I mean, fair.
Maybe.
I mean,
Like, I mean, the
Melee's graphics actually held up though, so
not really. I mean,
yeah, they're almost cell shaded. They're not too complicated. You know,
Bowser looks like
they're not
hot
pretty.
garbage.
Bowser's the only exception to that rule.
I was about to say Bowser's pretty ugly, bro.
he ugly.
He's pretty
But
ugly.
He's a monster, so I guess it kind of works. But
That's
like,
fair, that's fair. I think. I mean,
Up
kind of
until
like I
that-
said earlier. But-
they were working off the 64 design for Bowser, so like, and he's always looked kind of ugly, so like, I guess it's true to the character up until that
Well,
point.
he looked okay in
He looked, He
Sunshine.
didn't look like 64.
Did Sunshine come out before? They were
Yeah, it
already
came out before
developing. They
Melee.
were already developing Smash before like Sunshine came out.
Yeah, I
though.
know.
Okay.
But,
Something, something I like.
technically-
Something I like about
technically the
Melee. A
design
lot
was
of the
there.
characters had like their.
That's why they
own-
still had the Ocarina of Time stuff
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
in
for
the
Zelda.
opening.
Oh my God.
So
But that's also because Twilight Princess wasn't until end of GameCube, and Wind Waker was the one after that. So
Yeah. Fun fact. You guys remember, like, you've probably seen a little bit of footage. There was like a tech demo for the GameCube where they showed like a Zelda game that never came out. Like it showed Link and Ganondorf fighting.
and it
stuff.
looked epic.
It looked epic. That character model is the one they used for Ganondorf Melee.
And
Melee
I think
Ganondorf.
Link Melee too, right?
Maybe that one's
It
basically
kinda
the
looks
same as
like it.
Ocarina of Time.
I don't know. All right, it sounds like we're coming to the end of this argument. We should probably head out because we've been here for way too long
I agree.
after the thing. So, all right.
I think overall we all like our own games because of
lot.
certain things. And like in reality, I think we all have certain things that we like about the other games. And overall, I think Smash 4 is the best. I'm assuming that my man Husky probably still thinks Melee's the best, and I'm assuming you still think that Brawl's the best. And
I
like
think-
that's
I think
okay.
each game has its strengths and weaknesses, obviously, but I think Brawl has the most strengths and Melee the most weaknesses.
Oh hey, okay, I'm in the middle. I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm done.
What?
That was my goal, is to not be
Oh, boy.
last. I'm just kidding.
You heard it here first, folks. The weakest game is still being played to this day.
Okay, competitive Melee is
Ooh.
a strange Frankenstein.
If we're
of a
honest,
game.
they had to mod Brawl to play more like Melee in order for it to be better. Project M was good. Don't at me.
I wonder how many people are actually still playing Brawl.
They
a
didn't
good
mod the
question.
they didn't mod Smash 4 because nobody bought the Wii U to play it.
That's a good point.
Well,
That was
that's
the
a-
only good selling one.
That's
from
a
the Wii U.
hardware. That's a hardware
No,
situation.
this wasn't
but
me.
I
This wasn't
agree.
me knocking it. I
Oh,
was
I
just
know.
saying, like,
But you're not wrong.
Yeah, it happened to be on the worst Nintendo system. in years.
Everybody went to their friend's house to play it, and that's why 8-player Smash was made.
I'm still of the opinion that Melee is the strongest of the titles. It had the least to work with and did the most as far as impact.
Yeah, I am of the opinion that Brawl is objectively the best. Melee is overrated, and Smash 4 is bland.
I'm of the opinion Ultimate's the best overall, but out of these three, I think Smash 4 is
Coward!
good.
Coward alert! This
I'm
just
not a
in,
coward.
Dingo,
I
coward.
literally just answered the question though and
me
said
check-
that I
let me
still
check-
think Smash
let
4
me
is the
check-
All right,
better one.
we're heading out.
Yeah, let's leave. Let's be done.
Oh boy.
I'm done. I'm done.
All right, you guys have been listening to Doghouse. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week, 3:10 to 4:10, same bat time, same bat channel. Also, we're doing another show tomorrow with the return of Jack Gasterly and co. To Dungeon Dogs,
Yeah,
to a
Dungeon
tabletop
Dogs.
adventure. You can go ahead and give us a little spiel on that. What we can
Yeah,
expect.
Dungeon Dogs. It's going to be 11 to 1 tomorrow morning. We're going to finish up the arc between Ghastly Paz and Grimlow. They're going to finish their little adventure in the swamp. Yeah, it's going to be real exciting. We're going to come to our thrilling climax. So please check it out.
Can I ask a random question?
You may.
Is it going to link with my story with, I think his name was Edmund? I don't remember.
Probably not. We're in two different parts of the world right now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you could still link it in a certain
I
way.
said you
never
may
know.
ask a question. I did not say I would answer it.
Oh,
Good night, everybody.
See? I might
You guys
have
have been
found
listening to
something.
Doghouse. Tune in next week.